Hey everybody, MTB Trigger here. Hey, we're going to jump in and I'm going to teach you today how to make money in Tarkov, specifically on the Interchange map. And the reason I'm making this is because as more and more people have joined the EXFIL podcast Discord and reached out, everyone's talking about money, how to make Roubles, can't seem to keep their economy up. So I want to show you the exact run that started me in this game. I was shown this method, and I want to show you some key things. Now, the method that I use is on Interchange. So, Interchange is an awesome map for a couple of reasons. One, it has a ton of computer parts and a lot of things that you need for your hideout. So once you get into your hideout upgrades, knowing how to run through Interchange is going to be critical. Second to that, you can run it at night or day, but the reason I'm doing it on nighttime and the reason I like nighttime is because you can actually see pretty well still. But if you choose to do this on a PMC, maybe you're doing a pistol run or you're doing a scav run, it's just a little easier to hide and sneak around. So let me show you the run that made me basically all of my currency early on in the game when I didn't really know what I was doing. Now for this video, I decided to just leave just some random loot on that I got from raiding earlier. And I've got a Burkett and a Triton. And I just want to show you that. Now, if you're scav running, you may not end up with anything. You may just have a scav vest. You may just have pockets, whatever. But you'll see why I brought this in, because I just want you to see how much stuff you can accumulate by running Ollie. Now, I'm just going to show you Ollie, which is the green walled mega store on the Interchange map on the inside of the mall. So if you're going to use this method to make money, what you'll do is wherever you spawn, and I recommend doing it as a scav over and over, do it on scav cooldown. Every 20 minutes when your scav pops up, come into Interchange, and you're going to learn all of the various different spawn points. And on scav, you can be in the mall, you can be outside of the mall, it's just kind of everywhere. But figure out how to get to Ollie. It's going to help you learn the map, it's going to help you learn ways in and out, you'll die a bunch. But every time you get to Ollie, think about it this way. If you come in the front, you're going to basically do a U. Where we are right now is the very front from inside the mall. And we're going to basically go up this direction, around the back wall, and then out. And I'll show you how to get to the EXFIL as well. So let me show you why this works so well. The first thing you do, and I'm going to try to give you some call-out names for people that play this map so that you can know. The first one is this info desk. Now, if you're coming in the start of the raid, players can come from this area, and they'll come from the doors over here. So I don't really like to hang out up front very much, and if you're hearing gunfire, I wouldn't mess with this. But there's actually 3 of these info desks, and they have computers. So I always like to loot the computers because you can find graphics cards, you can find power supplies. So here we got 3 DVDs and a CPU. Typically, I'm not going to pick up DVDs because I'm going to replace them later. But for the sake of this video and for making money, let's talk about maximizing it. So I'm going to bring them here, and if I find something more valuable, we'll replace them. We'll do a little loot Tetris as we go. So we'll loot the other computer, and every info desk has 2. So we're just going to grab everything here. Now, in Ollie, there's all of these shelves, and you can basically find loot on any of them. So this is why I wanted to show this off, and it happened right away. See this item? It's really hard to spot, but Ollie always has loot that players miss because they're moving too quickly or they just don't know where to look. So this one's kind of hard to loot. You got to aim right above the shelf, and you get that little white dot on your screen signaling that there's something to loot. So pay attention to that. But you don't need to be like right on top of the shelf, but you're really just kind of running by to see if there's a loot spawn, and you want to make sure you take those tops. So if you're checking every shelf in Ollie because you think you have time, you know, it's worth doing a little peek. But typically I'll loot these front shelves right here, and then I'll come back and check this one right over here. And again, I didn't bring a flashlight or anything like that because there's a few critical item spawns that I hope we see. One of them is the filter, the blue filter. And on the nighttime version of the map, it's really hard to spot. So I hope we get one so that I can show that to you. We're going to check these shelves. Items can spawn here. They can spawn here, here, down here. Basically, anywhere there's gaps on the shelves is where you want to be looking. Okay, boom. Here's a great item. Blue fuel canister. These are worth quite a bit. And if you need fuel for your generator, even better. You just found it in raid. So again, we're going to hit the 2 computers. This is the second info desk on the right side of Ollie. And we got a power supply unit. So at the very end of this, we'll figure out exactly how much all this would be worth. And we'll start replacing stuff. But if we, again, if we can't replace stuff, if we just found enough loot that we filled our bags and we didn't find anything to replace with, so here's some alkali, that's going to be fine. There's nothing wrong with filling your bags. Now, this is probably the best spot to check if you have to run through quickly. This is referred to as scaffolding. I've also heard it referred to as pallet racking. Here's a blue water filter, but it's in the light. If it's in the dark, and again, I hope we see one so that you can see what I'm talking about. But very valuable item, and it only takes up 2 slots. So motors can spawn here, fuel containers. Check the second level of these shelves. Looks like we just had the 1 spawn, but any of these little spots here can have items. So you want to check them all. Okay. Now, more shelves back here. We're at the back of the first turn. So now we're just going to go along this back wall. We're going to check the shelves there, there. Here we go. Some screws. Nothing there. There's some bins along the back here that can have some car batteries. So there's some raids where you need to find car batteries in a raid. It's a good spot to check. Here's a toolbox. I like to hit this one. Nothing in it. Alright, now we'll check these. Looking up here for items. There we go. Some Plex. You can see how challenging it can be to find items. Now again, if it's busy, I would have never come up to this front of this rack. I would have stayed on the back wall and skipped checking these racks here. Some more tape. Again, there's so many spawns in here. Like, I would think there's over 100 spawns in this area. So you just have to train your eyes to look on the second shelf and the first shelf. You can see stuff even spawns way up in the back. Now, we've got a lot of 2-slot items that aren't worth very much. The alkali and the DVDs. So if we start finding more valuable items, those will be the first things we throw. And those do sell. So if you're not quite sure the values in the flea market or to sell to traders yet, that's okay. It's not going to hurt to fill up your bags with stuff that doesn't sell particularly well. You're still going to make money. So now we're approaching the back side, the back corner. Looky here. Got ourselves a motor. So now we've got some decisions to make. I'm going to throw the DVDs out to start. Grab the motor. It's worth about 40 to 50,000 rubles right now. So a little over 10,000 per square. Light bulb, great find. So you notice how when the light bulb's in the dark, it's very transparent and hard to see. So you got to keep your eyes open for those. I just spotted another motor over there, but I just wanted to check and see if there was another spawn, which there is. So we're going to throw these other 2 DVDs. And we got to make space up here. So we got another motor. Now, we have a really interesting decision to make. We have a third motor. We do have slots, but we don't have any more 4-slotters open. So power supplies and motors are worth about the same. Fuel's worth more. These are all 2 slots, so we're not going to be able to chuck enough stuff to get another motor in our bag. So this one actually is going to end up staying. And we'll see if we can't maximize a little bit more on the way out. This is the main section of the Ollie run. Now, this is referred to as the lighted storage room or light room. So we completed the U. We started at the front, went back, came across the back wall, and then we're down. Now we're working towards the EXFIL. It's here where I'm going to check my bags. I have 1 slot. I have a couple items that aren't particularly valuable. So I'm going to run and check the bottom of all this pallet racking to see what we can find. And we found a hose. Oh, it went into my gamma container. Just fine. Hose is valuable. There's a tool chest right here. Relay's good. Bolts are good. So bolts are going to be worth more than the alkali in 2 spots, so we'll take those. And again, if you get full and you just want to exfil, that's fine. In the beginning, it's more important to get out with a bunch of loot than to risk dying and risk losing all of it. So check down here for more spawns. Looks like we're good. 2 more areas that I want to check. We come out this room to the right. This is referred to as the L room, the L-shaped room. There's a tool chest back here. So we check this. And duct tape's not super valuable, but nails are very valuable. So we're going to chuck the alkali again. We'll take the duct tape for now. Now we're on the home stretch. It's possible to get loot on these racks, but normally at this point, we only looted part of the main building of Ollie, and we're full and we've already been trading items out. Even if other players have come through, oftentimes you can fill your bags and your vests with loot. If you do happen to be full, there's 2 things you can do on the way to the exfil. So you noticed I came out of the L-shaped room, and I run up this dock. You have scav spawns over here, scav spawns below this, and scav spawns down the ramp. If you get out here and you're not full, there's 2 things you can do to fill up. There's 2 weapon crates you can check on the way out, and there's also a stash. So here's the first weapons crate. I'll chuck one of these, grab that. Now, this is decision time. There's 2 main ways to get to the exfil. There's an exfil all the way in the corner, back over there. So you can either run down to the left, and there's a nice ravine that runs this way. Or you can run over here, and a nice little tip is you can jump onto this. Don't jump all the way, you'll hurt yourself. So you jump onto this and then drop down. You don't take any damage. And there's a little ravine that runs all the way up there. So for the sake of this, I want to show you the last couple loot spawns. There's a food spawn right here usually, and it's on one of these chairs. I don't know if stuff can spawn actually on the whole thing, but I often find something like right here on this chair. That's one. This one I don't recommend unless you just are dying for money and you didn't do well inside. There's a weapons crate right on the inside of these sandbags, which is nice because it's pretty covered off. You know, you're not going to run into a whole lot of people here. Again, oh, see, so we found a suppressor here. So now we've got some fun decisions to make. So I would just do this. Personally, I don't know what these items are worth. I'm guessing they're worth a pretty penny, but I just don't know. But you can see you'd have the chance to trade these up if you knew. Weapon parts I'm not super good at yet. And then the last spot before we head over to the exfil. Again, kind of dangerous because oftentimes players will come out with a thermal scope and start looking out here. But there's a stash right by the only rock pile up on this hill. So easy to remember, easy to spot. And it's a good thing to check if you're feeling safe or you're just trying to get that extra little bit of loot because a lot of stuff can spawn in here. We got 2 screw nuts, which are more valuable than tape and that. So boom, we book it to the exfil, and that is the Ollie loot run. Again, there's numerous ways to get in and out of Ollie and to and from Ollie in the mall. If you're looking for a place to make consistent money, there's always loot left in that area. So I highly, highly recommend you give that a shot. And Interchange is one of those maps that if you stay out of the middle of the mall and you stick to the bigger buildings in the outside, it's pretty safe. So anyway, that's the Ollie loot run. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you've got a loot run that you think is better, or you think I missed something on this one, or you like other parts of Ollie, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Let everybody know. The goal here is to help you make more money in game so you can spend longer doing what you enjoy in the game. But if farming is your thing, this is a great place to do it. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.